Chapter 1. Morning Rounds. The soft glow of dawn crept through the windows of Riverside Nursing Home, casting long shadows across the quiet hallways. Nurse Lisa Martinez stood at the nurse's station, her dark hair neatly tucked into a bun, as she reviewed the night shift's notes. With a deep breath, she straightened her crisp blue scrubs and picked up her clipboard. Another day was beginning, and with it, the promise of both challenges and rewards. As Lisa began her morning rounds, the familiar scent of disinfectant mingled with the aroma of brewing coffee from the staff room. Her footsteps echoed softly in the hallway as she approached her first stop. Room 103. She knocked gently before entering. "Good morning, Edith. How are we feeling today?" Edith Simmons, an 88-year-old former librarian with wispy white hair and kind eyes, looked up from her well-worn copy of Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. A slight frown creased her forehead. "Oh, Lisa, dear. I'm afraid I didn't sleep well. My mind keeps wandering to places I can't quite remember." Lisa sat on the edge of the bed, taking Edith's fragile hand in hers. The skin was paper-thin, marked with age spots, but still warm with life. "That's okay, Edith. We'll work through it together. How about we start with a little breakfast and then maybe a walk in the garden later? The fresh air might help clear your mind." Edith's eyes brightened at the suggestion, a spark of her old self shining through. "That sounds lovely, dear. You always know just what to say." As Lisa helped Edith prepare for the day, she made mental notes about the resident's condition. The mild dementia seemed a little more pronounced this morning, but Edith's spirits were good. She'd make sure to inform the day shift to keep a closer eye on her. Leaving Edith's room, Lisa continued down the hall to room 115. Before she could knock, she heard a muffled voice from inside. "Blasted thing! Work, will you?" Lisa entered to find George Thompson, a 92-year-old DYE veteran, fumbling with his hearing aid. His weathered hands shook slightly as he tried to adjust the small device. "Need a hand there, George?" Lisa asked, raising her voice slightly. George looked up, relief washing over his face. "Nurse Lisa! Thank heavens, this confounded contraption won't cooperate." With gentle patience, Lisa helped George insert and adjust his hearing aid. As the world of sound opened up to him once more, a grateful smile spread across his face. "You're an angel, Lisa. Don't know what we'd do without you." Lisa patted his shoulder. "Just doing my job, George. Now, how about we get you ready for breakfast?" As she helped George into his wheelchair, Lisa noticed a slight redness on his lower back. She made a note to apply some preventive cream and to remind the CNAs to help George change positions more frequently. The morning continued, each room presenting its own unique challenges and joys. In room 121, Harold Fisher, a 79-year-old with early-stage Alzheimer's, was already dressed and sitting at his chess table. "Nurse Lisa!" he exclaimed, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "I've got a new chess strategy I want to try out. Care for a quick game?" Lisa chuckled, checking her watch. "Maybe later, Harold, but I'm glad to see you're in good spirits today. Did you remember to take your morning medication?" Harold's brow furrowed for a moment before he shook his head. I'm not sure." "No worries," Lisa reassured him, moving to the small medication cabinet in his room. "We'll take care of that right now." As she administered Harold's medication, Lisa engaged him in conversation about his chess strategies, keeping his mind active and alert. She made a note to inform the activities director about Harold's continued interest in chess, thinking it might be good to organize a small tournament for the residents. Leaving Harold's room, Lisa paused at the nurse's station to consult with David Williams, the West Wing charge nurse. The smell of coffee was strong here, and Lisa felt a pang of envy as David sipped from his mug. "How's it looking today, Lisa?" David asked, his eyes tired but alert. "Mostly good," Lisa replied, flipping through her notes. "But keep an eye on Mrs. Rosenberg in 208. Her cough seems a bit worse this morning. I've scheduled a checkup with Dr. Patel." David nodded, making a note in the computer. "Will do. Thanks for the heads up. Oh, and heads up yourself. Mr. Kowalski's son called. He's coming in later and he sounded agitated. Lisa sighed, knowing that family dynamics could often be the most challenging part of their job. Thanks for the warning. I'll make sure to brief Jennifer before she comes on shift. As Lisa continued her rounds, she felt the nursing home coming to life around her. The clatter of breakfast trays echoed from the kitchen, and the day shift staff began to trickle in, exchanging quiet greetings and updates. Her final stop was room 230, where she found Frank Sullivan, the 78-year-old former jazz musician, sitting up in bed. His hands trembled with Parkinson's, but he was determinedly trying to hum a tune. "Good morning, Frank," Lisa greeted warmly. "That sounds like a beautiful melody. Mind if I join in?" Frank's face lit up, the deep lines around his eyes crinkling with pleasure. Lisa began to hum along with him, their voices blending in the quiet morning air. As they finished the impromptu duet, Frank whispered, "Thank you, Lisa. You've made an old man's day." Lisa squeezed his hand gently, noting the coolness of his skin. She made a mental note to check his circulation later. "That's what I'm here for, Frank. Now, let's get you ready for breakfast. I hear Chef Antonio has prepared something special today." As she helped Frank with his morning routine, Lisa's mind was already racing ahead to the tasks that awaited her. There were medications to be distributed, doctor's rounds to prepare for, and countless small but vital tasks that kept Riverside running smoothly. Leaving Frank's room, Lisa glanced at her watch. Her morning rounds were complete, but her day was just beginning. She could hear the increased bustle in the hallways as more residents awoke and staff members arrived for the day shift. With a deep breath, Lisa straightened her shoulders and headed towards the nurse's station to give her report. In the world of Riverside Nursing Home, every day brought new challenges, small triumphs, and opportunities to make a difference. As she walked, Lisa felt a familiar sense of purpose fill her. Despite the long hours and emotional toll, this was where she was meant to be, helping to guide her charges through their twilight years with dignity and compassion. The day ahead would undoubtedly bring its share of difficulties, confused patients, concerned family members, and the ever-present shadow of illness and mortality. But it would also bring moments of joy, connection, and the deep satisfaction of knowing that her work mattered. With a small smile playing on her lips, Lisa Martinez stepped into the nurse's station, ready to face whatever the day might bring.